layers of marketing. So when we do our marketing campaign unit, we're like, okay, this is how to do Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you do Instagram?
Yeah.
You okay? We'll have a hug. I know you're scared to post. I know you're scared of trainers. I know you're scared of fucking it up.
Judgment.
I know you're scared of trolls. I know you're scared of the whole thing. It's overwhelmed. What if it doesn't work? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I can post. Okay. Hold my poodle. Here's everything else. How far down the line? Okay, so let's go from that. So you're just doing we talk about 4 value posts plus. So I would have a client result in your own training, 6 posts a week.
Yeah.
Spoken stories 4 times a week. Unless you have a lot of video content, we get away with not many spoken stories because we do the pod. The pods get clipped.
Yeah.
You see our heads talk 5-6 times a week. And we still try and put out spoken stories.
Yeah.
2 calls to action at least per week that you have spots available for your coaching and what you do. And then DMs on top of that. That's like if you want to start to build online. That's all I did in 2018-19 to go online full time.
Same.
And I think you can still do that now.
I can get enough.
I think just the DMs would take more work.
Yeah.
It'd probably take a little bit longer. Yeah. The campaign that we're running for Learn right now that you guys are probably seeing is 8, 9, 10, 11 posts a week. 4 of them specific to the marketing campaign.
Yeah.
The others 2 for a simultaneous campaign that's running at the same time. Overlapped, so Tam's photo shoot giveaway.
Yeah.
Go find the post comment.
Yeah, get on that.
And then value adds, results, proof, etc. Stories every day, behind the scenes, calls to action, etc. Next layer, podcast. The first topic we're going to talk about in the workshop is your niche. It's how to get online clients.
Yeah.
That's why you're not making 10K. The next layer is 1 YouTube video a week. Next layer is 1 email a week. Next layer is probably 4 paid somethings simultaneously running every week. Where do you need to be as a trainer to do 10K? Do you think? So $2,500 a week.
As in doing all of that?
Do you have to do all of that? Can you just do Instagram?
I think you could get to 2K a week. I think you could get to it. I don't think you get any further.
Yeah.
Just on Instagram.
Yeah. 2, 2.5.
Probably 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you'll just hit a block because what you need to do to move through that is not the same as what it took to get there.
Agreed.
Which we talk about all the time. And you and I have experienced it. Every single person in business will say the same.
Yeah. Even yesterday on the call, one of the other students was like, I just told him my stories all the time. And now it's like I've got a ceiling. I know I've got a ceiling. I've got to do something different, but it's scary.
Yeah.
It's like we did that for fucking ever.
Yeah.
I just have to post and tell people and we're good. And it's like, yeah, we're good, but we can't move forward.
Why am I only going 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I reckon you get away with social media for that, but then after that, you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when, like just examples, and I think it's a reflection of your goals too. So like the $2,000 thing's a benchmark, and I think you can get up to that. From there, it's like there's guys in Standout that are making and want to make like 200 plus, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, well, let's have a look at what we're doing now.
That's $4,000 a week for context.
Yeah. So let's have a look at what we're doing now. And then I don't know about if you did it in the planning calls. I was like, this is where we're at. This is where you want to be. And this is what you're doing. And I'm like, does this look like a business that does 4K a week? And they're just like, no, not at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are your numbers? What are you this? Like, so I think, yeah, you can get away with it for a little bit, but then at some point you'll just like hit a wall and be like super frustrated.
Yeah.
And that's because there's just so many elements that you're missing.
Yeah. Even then on that campaign, like none of those things are random.
Yeah.
The content is the same across every platform for the week.
Yep.
So the social media ties into the podcast, ties into the email, ties into the YouTube video, and then that's used for an ad. And it all is centered around the workshop that's coming up.
Yeah.
We're going to solve the problem. It's
Yeah, but being in this and being mature and like obviously trying to pay attention, no one accidentally gets super successful. Like super successful. Like you can get a little bit successful maybe overnight, like just accidentally, like, you know, you're really likable and you kind of worked and did the thing. But then from there, if they've sustained that success and evolved it, they've gotten to a point where they're like, I either need help or need to actually run this business like a business. So then all of a sudden it fucking catches like wildfire and just, you know, grows, right?
Yeah.
So when people look at other businesses, like I know I look at businesses now and like if they're doing really well, I'm like, they like must have all their pieces together. It's not just like, oh, I need to get clients.
Yeah.
Like every week is just like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like accidental posts and accidental this. Like even just being in the mentoring program now, I'm like, everything is calculated.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
There's not a single action that's by accident.
Yeah.
So every time you sit down, there has to be a purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, like you have no right in like expecting your business to grow in the direction that you want or the scale that you want. Like, you're just throwing shit at the wall. So yeah, like I just think like for anyone who's like thinks this is all like bullshit or thinks this is like just not how it is, it's like go inside sports on a business, man. Like it's doing really big numbers and has a really big team. Every single decision that they make is micro calculated.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. And you have to do it too. And the sooner you adopt it, the better your growth will be.
Yeah. So I think Instagram, emails.
Yeah.
I don't think a podcast is required, but I would do YouTube, and if you
podcast is not worth your time if you've got a really small following.
Yeah.
It's not worth it at the start. That time, man. Like you put 5 hours like travel and all that stuff, and then the editing, and we paid like obviously Tam's an employee of ours.
Yeah.
Like that time and money, you put that into anywhere else in your business, that'll give you way more.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a fulfillment. Even like I did the review, and Steph's like, "You spend 5 hours a week." She's like, "We spend 4 a month. The fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "I just really like spending time with Jason." She's like, "Okay, that's fine."
Yeah.
It's like if it's a fill your cup thing, then sure. But A, it's overwhelming. B, it's hard to get good at. C, it takes fucking ages. It's expensive as shit.
Yeah. It also, for us, it makes us better at the other stuff too.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And we have multiple income streams that all contribute and stuff.
Yeah. But you could absolutely do like social media.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Email marketing. And then start going down the route of like even paid.
Yep.
Like ads and shit. I think that would be the natural progression.
Yeah.
Before a podcast.
I think if you're terrified of YouTube so much that you don't want to speak on camera or whatever, at least to be doing blogs.
Yeah.
I think it's almost, if you want your Instagram to take you to 10K, you need a separate authority piece.
Yeah.
So like the podcast is like an authority piece. People that don't even listen to the podcast know you have a podcast, so they sign up because you have a podcast. And that, like, we've always had that effect with the blog writing as well. No one does it anymore. No one reads them. Even I can believe it in the call yesterday. And Mentor's like, "Oh, you probably just like get 100 blogs written. No one will ever read them, but they're great for SEO." And I was like, "Oh, so our blogs aren't useless because no one's fucking reading them ever."
Yeah. No one's reading nothing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's authenticating everything else that you do by saying I'm somewhere else on the internet, because everyone has Instagram. And everyone's an online coach that coaches their cousin with 2 clients.
You know where I think people read is emails.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
if they like your brand.
Well, if they're on the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I don't think. So if you take your blogs and then put them into like its small digestible emails, because that is something we're going to do. You just didn't know about it. That's the go.
100%.
Yeah.
And like, so my marketing for this program I was just talking about, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yep.
Write a blog, do a short video on the blog, and then have my VA write a short form version of the blog.
Yeah.
Post it, a quote from the blog, post it, and a tweet. So it just like slowly gets shorter content from the same piece of content for the whole week.
Yeah.
And it's out. That's it. It's like, yeah, I think blog writing, if you do it if you don't just chat GPT it, if you actually sit down and think about the topic and write it as a form of high value communication, will make you a better coach anyway.
Yeah.
But you can say the same about YouTube.
Yeah, we also paid someone to write our blogs.
Were they? No, so I did a huge series during COVID.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the ones
And the ones that we had written were from our course content.
oh yeah, but
She got the course and wrote them, and they
Yeah.
sucked.
and that was shit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not trying to contradict you. I'm just being very transparent.
Yeah.
We've tried it all.
Yeah, but we had them written from our course content, and she did it terribly. That's
They're
fine.
so bad.
It's fine. Good for SEO, right?
Yeah. I can't even remember how much that cost us, but it's probably better not. to remember.
Yeah, let's not.